We're having technical difficulties. But I did want to bring on a special guest tonight who's going to give us some coping skills during this self-isolation time. How are you doing,
Oh,
Mike?
hello. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Your intro.
My
Uh,
intro.
yes, Micheal
Oh,
Lemus.
there it is.
Uh-huh.
Look at that
Micheal
fanciness.
Lemus is the founder of Reclaim Your Happiness. You can actually go to the website at www.reclaimyourhappinesswithmicheallemus.com. Is that it, Michael? That's
You were
easy.
very close. You were very close.
Oh, very close. Okay, give it to him. Give it to him. Close to no cigar.
um, so you can, I would say the easiest way is if you just Google Reclaiming Your Happiness with Lemus. So it's Reclaiming Your Happiness with Lemus. That should be the first thing that pops up, but it's all that. So reclaimingyourhappinesswithlemus.com. And last time I checked on Google, I'm easy to find. So go for it.
So yeah, Michael is also the founders of Scholars of Color. He's
Yes.
also the founder of Arise with Lemus. It's a podcast. He's a writer, facilitator, self-help coach. And he's one of our amazing community members that we love so much. I met him at Sac State. He worked there at Sac
Yeah.
State. And we hit it right off. I think we aligned spiritually. We
Agreed.
felt those vibes, those
The
love.
vibes.
And so I wanted to treat my Facebook folk to one of our healers in our community, Michael. And me and Michael was talking about ways that people can, soothe anxiety. Anxiety is really high right now. And so we wanted to talk about ways that we could soothe anxiety while we're at home and things to do. He's going to touch on even spiritual practices and crystals and things. I know some of you all are into those crystals and you know. And so Michael's going to touch on that. And so Michael, could you tell them a
Yeah.
little bit about yourself, about your platforms, and how are you instituting healing in your own life?
I definitely can. So first off, I just want to say thank you for having me on here and just to share space with your community because I know we share a lot of the same people, but I think that there's also always a special connection in having these types of collaborations because you can get people that maybe you wouldn't come across in your regular day-to-day life because of the power of social media. You get to connect with people. And like you said, it is very much about the vibes. Even if you don't actually meet the person in real life, you can still form a connection. So thank you for actually having me here. So for me, I think it kind of, I would say it started back in 2018. So I was actually in a big period of transition at that point, and it was around summer of 2018. A lot of things were changing of career, relationships, just there were a lot of personal shifts. And it was in that summer that I really started to dive deeper into spiritual practices and actually looking into healing for the first time. And when I've heard of healing in the past, like I've heard of physical healing, like if you break a bone or like how to mend that, but not so much of the own spiritual journey and how that can actually play a role in our own mental health and our own healing. And it was that summer that I really started to look into things. And that's actually the summer before that's the summer that I started my job at Sac State where I met you. So that was a very important year because there was just a lot of change going on. And so the platform itself, so Reclaiming Your Happiness with Lemus, that stemmed from a not so great situation that I was in. So I was just in a very toxic place when I actually decided to launch that platform. I was like in a really toxic professional environment and I just really needed to get the heck out. And part of what I said as I was leaving was that in order to reclaim my happiness, I needed to actually make that exit for my own happiness. I mean, at that point, I really was not in a good place. And I really felt the need to go ahead and actually make the exit, but make an intentional exit to really explore that healing journey. So that's what I went on for really. And I'm still on that journey. I would say since summer of 2018, it's just gotten deeper and deeper. and it's gotten much more spiritual. So I've been learning a lot of tips and tools and things that I've implemented into my life. I have anxiety. So prior to even the coronavirus situation, like I have had anxiety. I used to say I suffer with anxiety, and I've been reframing language a lot since going on this journey. So I choose to go ahead and just say that I am someone that happens to have anxiety and that I just manage my anxiety in different ways. But yeah, I mean, it's something that I definitely have to navigate. And, with this times of change and uncertainty and fear, rightfully so, I think there's a lot of people that are anxious. And for me, that healing journey looks multifaceted. And the way that I go about it is very much looking for alignment. And when people are like, what the heck is alignment? I like to define it very simply as balance and flow. So, how do we go about our lives to just feel or embody actually feeling like we feel balanced and like things are actually flowing in our lives at a good pace and not rushed?
Yeah.
So, alignment is very important to me because I look at it physically, like what do I need to do to get my body movement going? What is the energy that's going through my body? Mentally, so what I just did now about reframing language and behaviors, that's very important. And then, of course, just what are our behaviors look like? How do we interact with people? I think a lot of people are experiencing just a lot of very quick change right now, from the people that are losing their jobs to tending for like elderly. Just there's a lot of things going on. So I tend to look at things, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So alignment, again, like what does that look like for me to talk about all these practices and work with the crystals and work with the tarot cards and all that stuff. So it's a journey, and I'm still on that journey. And I think for me, it's really important to talk about these things because people deserve to feel happy, and I think a lot of people, unfortunately, don't get a chance to explore what that really means for them.
Well, I love what you said about alignment and a balance, and all those things are interconnected. And so, right now, I'm glad you were speaking to um, like people losing their jobs and people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in a people are in a time of uncertainty, and so you being a mental health expert, and what are some tips for the people that are watching this? What can they do to help soothe? It may not go away, but to help them soothe their discontent right now. What's
Yeah,
Give me a good tip.
yeah. Speaking of people, where are people? It's like I heard you earlier.
We
It's
have
like, where are
six
you all at?
people. We have six people. We have
Where are you
six.
at?
We
No,
have
I'm kidding.
seven.
Um,
It's okay.
I'm
We
kidding. I'm
have
kidding.
the
No,
good
that's
six.
part of it. So honestly, actually, that's a tip that's been on my mind. That's part of it is taking social media breaks. I think that that's a really big part of figuring out what does that actually look like for us. And social media is addicting, and it can be used for very positive things. I would say some of the biggest collaborations that I've had and actually really meaningful relationships have stemmed from social media. But I've also used social media very intentionally. And so it's not just to go ahead and continuously be like hit by the news every single time I open my social media platform. I also look at social media differently in the sense that, even I would say even more along the lines of prior to this situation, because I think more people are getting vulnerable.
Right. And so I would want to say that more
Ah,
people are looking at social media, and right now it's a mental health tool,
yes,
because people
yes,
are wanting, and it's okay. That's why you have platforms like mine, platforms like yours, that talk about mental health constantly, and is trying
yes,
to help people heal because we're trying to heal ourselves. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? So
yeah,
in the process, we're sharing what's healing us, and people are. So I don't want to put too much off on social media. I mean, we
yeah.
we kind of need it as a tool right now,
I agree.
um, to reach out. And I just wanted to say, hey V, hey Brianna, I love you too. Hey Ronnie, Miranda, hey Kalish, hey, haven't seen you in a while.
There are peeps. They heard us be like, "Where are you all at?" Like,
They came through. So Um, you're on social media, all over social media.
Yeah, I use it a lot. Yeah.
You use it a lot. I'm sorry, I interrupted, but you could keep moving.
Yeah, I think with social media, so part of the healing journey for me that I started more intentionally in 2018 was actually completely transforming my social media. Because in the past, just to be fully transparent, the way that I use social media was very, I would say on the surface, um, borderline materialistic. I mean, it was very much like look at my latte and look at like my Old Navy outfit. Um, Great photos, but that it wasn't really telling a story, and people weren't really getting a chance to actually know the real me. And it was a lot of posting about accomplishments and like really big things going on in my life, which I think it's great for us to go ahead and talk about the great things that are happening in our lives. But I think that there is potential in social media, like we use our platforms now to show people this healing journey, to show people the vulnerability. And once I started to go ahead and showcase that and actually show to the world that I'm not perfectly put together all the time, and even with the good things happening, there's also things that I, still have to manage and navigate through that are sometimes not something that feels really good. And so I want to normalize that, and I think that that's super important when it comes to mental health because I think a lot of people didn't know when I finally said, openly that I have anxiety. People were very shocked because they were like, "You just seem like you have everything put together all the time, structured down to the minute." And I'm like, "Yeah." And a lot of people have anxiety. High functioning anxiety is a real thing. You could, on the surface, on the outside, look perfectly put together, but then have all these spiraling thoughts going on regularly. So I think that's really important is to show people your true self.
Yeah, that's that's important. So what about some tools? People,
Yeah.
what are tools that you use when you're
Yeah.
having anxiety? What works for you?
I've been exploring that a lot lately. So for one of the things that I use is the power of my voice. And so because anxiety builds up in me when I'm actually experiencing some sort of anxiety, whether it's an anxiety attack or just like anxious thoughts, for me to actually be able to speak it out and so actually vocalize what it is that I'm actually thinking, it's like this what do they say in Mean Girls? Like word vomit. Like it's like this like it just comes out, and there's something very spiritual about being able to release. Like it's a physical release, and so that's one thing that really helps. I am very spiritual. I think that that's coming out very strongly right now. So some of the things that I practice when it comes to just like anxiety is setting the mood. And so actually setting wherever, for example, if I'm in the space that I'm in right now, which is my office room, like what does that look like? So the lighting, if it's like putting on like burning a candle or an incense or something that's gonna make me feel good. And so I very much am intentional about my space because I believe that energy is a real thing. And so what you actually, absorb is very important. Crystals, because we've been talking about crystals. So,
Come on,
um,
show your crystals. Get a
crystals. Um,
crystal
so I
paint.
have tons, but I'm just gonna show you two right
Okay.
now that I've been working with
Can
a
you
lot.
give us? I don't know much
Show and
about.
tell.
Can you
Let's
give
talk
us?
about crystals. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about crystals, not the other.
So
I know some of y'all think about some other, but
I know
we
we
talk.
share some people that are really into crystals. I know, I know. But for people that are like, what the heck, it's a rock. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So, so it's funny. As a kid, I was really into collecting rocks, and I wanted to be a geologist until I figured out that that required science, which is not my strong suit. So I did not become a geologist, evidently, and I still had a love for rocks. And I found crystals a couple of years ago because I know other people that have used them for their spiritual abilities. See, Jackson is talking about having their crystals, so there you go.
Wow,
But
that's awesome.
but when I started to find my love for crystals, I also had questions. I'm like, how do rocks have these powers, right? Or quote unquote powers. And so the way that I thought about it, so my favorite actually is this one here. So it's a really like you can't really see it that well in the lighting, but it's a purple. It's a purple crystal. This one's called Amethyst, and it's known for its ability to help connect people to their intuition and their spirituality. So I use it in meditation. Rose quartz here is a pink one. So that's known as the stone of love. And I tend to see it. A lot of people are like, oh, it's romance. But it's like, it could be self love too. Like, it doesn't have to just be romantic. But, anyways, going back to the physical properties. So, the way that I look at crystals and spirituality in general is crystals are part of the earth, right? And there's a lot of spirituality when it comes to our connection to Mother Nature. And crystals have literally, the way that they form, that's happened from thousands of years. And so there's been so much energy that has just gone into them. And so, like anything else, so it could be, is it, is it Kalash or Kalesh said Jasmine Infinity? Are they saying hello to someone? Jasmine's also crystal. Yeah, yeah. But I think about them. Ah,
Yeah.
I think about them in it's in that sense that it is very much there is energy. There's energy in plants. There's energy in crystals, and each crystal has different abilities. They have different intentions that you can set upon them. I just went over two, so one of them being really based on intuition, the other one being based on love. Um, but it's like anything that you place an intention on. So I think that's the important part about spirituality because when you have non-believers, and I take no offense to people that are like, I don't believe any of that stuff. But what I will say is faith and spirituality, what it's all about what we place intentions on and like what we actually, hold respect for. And so I think that that's super important to note because whether it be a crystal or be a cross or be, a plant, you're placing an intention, you're recognizing that there's energy, you have faith, there is a connection there. And so crystals have been really important for me because there is something very special about them and their physical energy. So crystals are a part of it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Pause real quick. So, for someone just starting out and that's interested in crystals,
Yeah.
what do you recommend they get? From what you're saying, it goes off of what they're intending on getting, like what they need from the crystal, what kind of energy they need from the crystal.
Exactly.
So
if you Google, like, for example, someone's like, I am experiencing anxiety. It's like, what are the best crystals for anxiety? And I know that jade and tiger eye, for example, are two crystals that help out a lot with that. But like turquoise is known for its serenity and its peaceful energy. So you can literally do even a Google search like that, and that's been helpful. And some people just find them. So some people will go into a store and they're like, there's something that I'm really connected to about this and not even know what the heck it is. But then they look it up and they're like, yes.
Yeah.
So a quick Google search can help. Yeah.
Okay, Google search, honey. Are you interested in doing a class on crystals? And
Ooh. I am, you know what? It's interesting. I have been thinking about, and it was around this time that I was actually going to start to launch more physical in person classes. But then Lady Corona hit.
she's
And
so tired. She's
she caused a
tired.
ruckus.
She is so tired.
But you just shared something prior to us coming on here that like the ability to go ahead and have these online platforms and online classes. So yeah, like I'm wanting to do more classes, not just on crystals, but like spirituality in general and connecting to our intuition and our own healing journeys. So yes, the answer is yes.
Okay. All right.
I said it here first.
So we're gonna close out. This is a short interview. I will spend more time once we get things together. I'm on a new platform, people.
It's all good.
A whole new thing, so I'm figuring things out. This is my first interview. I thank Michael for being open, and my last thing is, do you have a mantra or something that keeps you centered? Something, maybe even let's even stop right now because we both spiritual folks. If the universe has a word that you're getting for people that are watching,
yes,
yeah,
and I do have a word, and it's worthiness. That's the and I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I think that I actually just wrote a post about it and how my worthiness was determined by external validation for the majority of my life. And I used to just seek out, like, okay, well, I need to continue to be even more involved, join this committee, get this position, get that award, so that I could see myself as worthy. And then when I started to see, like, oh, wait, there's more to life than just all of that, um, I realized that worthiness it needs to come from within. And you can have all the people in the world love you, but if you don't love yourself, then you're not complete. And it really does need to stem from within. So that worthiness aspect, I think, is the word that I would choose for people, because I think we're in a trying time, y'all. We're in a trying time.
Yes. Oh, I'm about to get the worthiness.
Worthiness.
I struggle with that. I
do too sometimes. I think a lot of us do. Yeah.
Not being worthy. I get all these compliments and all these accolades. But when I'm home with myself, I don't feel worthy. You know, a lot of us come from traumatic childhood. So, you know, when you spent most of your childhood being told that you're not worthy, or just those not worthy affirmations constantly.
Yes.
So I have been working to rewire my brain. That was such a spiritual word. That's a spiritual word, and I thank you, because I think a lot of us is struggling with unworthiness right now, and sometimes it is a journey to see yourself as worthy. You know, that's another journey. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Yeah. Anyway,
on this, I appreciate it.
You know, we're gonna do it again.
There's gonna be a continuation. I'm bringing you on next, so we're gonna figure out our next collaboration.
Our next collab, back again. Yes. So you can reach Micheal at give him your website, because
yeah.
Go.
So I'd say the easiest way would be to Google "Reclaiming Your Happiness with Lemus," because most of the stuff will pop up there. And on the website, all the social media channels are on there. I personally use Instagram the most, so if y'all are trying to connect on Instagram, I'm at Arise with Lemus, so ARISE with Lemus, and we can chat there. But yeah, I'm easily found, so y'all can find me.
Thank you, Micheal. Thank you for talking to my Facebook audience.
I loved it. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to more dialogue. Looking forward to attending some of your Zoom classes, and looking forward to seeing the community that you're going to create during, this time of, I don't like to affirm distress.
I agree.
I say this time of reaffirmation.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to working with you and getting my healing from you, because even you just talking about the feelings of being unworthy, that really touched me. And yeah, that's something I thank you. Yes. Yeah. All right. See you later.
See you later. Bye,
right.
Facebook peeps.
Bye. All right, everyone. So that was Micheal. You can go to his website, or you can Google him, Micheal Lemus, at Reclaiming Your Happiness with Micheal Lemus. And, I got some good news today. If I can just find it. Somewhere in California, a family, I'm trying to share the screen with y'all. If I can just share the screen. If I can just share this screen. This family screen. Oh. There it is. Okay. I'm trying to share this screen with you. Okay. Where's the family? Okay. I can't see it. Okay. So look right here. Yes. Y'all. So a neighborhood, a community decided, since we're all on self-isolation, they decided to make a community art museum on the sidewalk. So all the neighbors are participating. This is one of my favorite ones. Social distance doesn't mean we aren't together. Social distance doesn't mean we're all together. More than 50 homes are participating. This is so beautiful. This is beautiful. Oh. And this is the imitation of Van Gogh, one of Van Gogh pieces. So there is good happening. There is some good happening in the world. What else we got? You know what? I'm about to go on. I'm about to leave. Hey, Armand, if you're still there, I'm about to leave, but I do want to send you a love affirmation. I did want to read something from a quote by Martin Luther King. To be rejected by someone doesn't mean you should also reject yourself. That is so interesting that he talked about worthiness. And I planned on reading this affirmation, this quote from Dr. Martin Luther King about self-rejection and rejecting yourself. And anyway, to be rejected by someone doesn't mean you should also reject yourself, or that you should think of yourself as a lesser person. It doesn't mean that nobody will ever love you anymore. Remember that the only one person has rejected you at the moment. And it only hurts so much because to you, I have ruined this. Did I copy the whole thing? I'm sorry. I'm trying to give Priestess honey, and I ain't even got the thing right. Oh, this is good too. Okay, hold on. We're gonna get this. We are gonna get this. We're gonna get this quote. It's actually by Jocelyn Cisneros, actually not Dr. King. And it reads, to be rejected by someone doesn't mean you should also reject yourself, or that you should think of yourself as a lesser person. It doesn't mean that nobody will ever love you anymore. Remember that only one person has rejected you at the moment, and it only will hurt so much because to you, that person's opinion symbolizes the opinion of the whole world or of God. So we can't make people gods in our lives, honey. I'm the queen of rejection. I've been rejected all my life. So, but I've also been accepted all my life too. You know, on one end, I've been rejected, and the rejection has caused me to find acceptance within myself. I've had to learn to accept myself through other people rejecting me, through the various ways I show up, you know. So anyway, I was trying to read something good. I think I copied the wrong quote. But anyway, you guys get the message. Thank you, Michael. Okay, I'm still Priestess. Thank you. I love you guys. I tried to do a good show. This is a whole new platform. I will be back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. with Marty Morehouse, marriage family therapist, and we're going to come through with a good word from her. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for at least tuning in tonight.